Well, here we are. Now, let's be real. If I wanted to be real petty, I'd be one of those guys saying, I told you so, especially after a year ago, after I made that terrible video about the copyright situation regarding the art style of this game. I do recall that I did say one thing, and I said that if this game ever got delayed and released pretty much later on after that situation happened, that the game was shut down probably soon after. I mean, if I want to be real petty, let's look at the Steam numbers of the game. But we're not going to do that today. I don't think any of those things really talk about the quality of the game that was released on March 5th. And yes and no, the game came out on March 5th and my video on it is coming out now. It just, whatever. But anyway, I believe that I said that this game was going to be an absolute disaster about a year ago when I made that video on the copyright situation, but I'm here to say the game is not an absolute disaster. It's actually pretty good. Is good here, and honestly, I had a lot of fun playing this game on and off since release. And no, I have not sunk 400 plus hours in this game like I know some of my friends have, or some other people, or some of the YouTubers and whatnot. I haven't done that, no. I'm sitting at, frankly, 30 hours. But, to be fair though too, this game is an extraction shooter. In my opinion, I like playing these games in bursts until the major updates come out, because after I do a lot of the quests and other things, I kind of just don't really want to play the game unless there's something higher that I can strive to get. In this case, the higher thing to strive to get would be completing CRYO Archive, but I am not doing match made on CRYO Archive right now. No, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But for me, like a personal thing, like I just said, like unlike games like Destiny, I can't sit here and I can't grind extraction shooters 24/7 throughout the months, which is partially why I'm not like sunken hundreds of hours into this game at that point, because at the end of the day, it's an extraction shooter. Arc Raiders was the same way for me. Arc Raiders, great game, but I'm not going to sit here and put hundreds or thousands of hours into it, because I do like extraction shooters, I will say that, but they're not my preferred genre of game. Like, that's just how extraction shooters are in the nature. But really quickly, if you wanted anything out of my thoughts of this game, I did quickly want to say that the game is good, really damn good in places, but can I see myself playing this game as long in the future for years on end, like Destiny, like Call of Duty, or not so much Call of Duty anymore, but mostly Destiny and some other games, honestly. Can I see myself playing that? Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So let's kind of just like step in and talk about what the core gameplay loop of this game is going to look like for most people jumping in. So, what are we going to be doing in Marathon? Well, similarly to other extraction shooters, we're going to be picking a different map, and at launch, we had one of 3 different maps to choose from to go in, and we're going to go in, complete quest objectives, or bounties, or contracts, rather, as they're called in this game, and we're going to try to extract the highest value of loot possible. Now, one thing I will say that Marathon does that is a little bit more unique than most other extraction shooters coming out nowadays is that we have specific runner shells that we can actually play as, and these runners have unique abilities. These runner shells, and they go as follows. We have Destroyer. His prime ability allows him to shoot homing missiles that deal damage to enemies. He has a tactical riot brigade, and he has thrusters, letting him dash in any direction. Assassin is the stealth type character, which allows you to use smokescreen to block enemies' line of sight from you, and actually go invisible in certain cases as well. You can also do something similar to what a Destiny Hunter can do, and you can dive down into the ground to create a field of smoke, similar to what the Void Hunter can do in Destiny 2. Recon, one of my personal favorites, can send out sonar pulses to reveal locations of enemy runners or enemy combatants around you. It also has a tracker drone that you throw out and will track and explode on enemies, dealing damages. You can also interrogate down players, and they will also ping all of their teammates around them. Triage is the medic type character that will help restore friendlies' health and shields, and they also have a quick revive feature that will immediately revive a downed teammate with a defibrillator. Thief has the ability that lets you fly a drone that causes players to lose their loot and fall to the ground, in which you can pick it up. They also have a grappling dart very similar to the Strand grapple from Destiny 2. I'm using a lot of Destiny 2 comparisons in this because that is another game that Bungie has worked on, so bear with me with that, and I apologize for all the Destiny comparisons in this video. Vandal, my personal favorite runner shell of the entire launch roster, allows you to sprint faster when using their prime ability. They also have a double jump feature at the cost of some heat when used, and they also use a disruptor cannon that can deal massive amounts of damage to enemies and can also knock them back in some cases too, leaving them exposed for further attacks. I did say that there was only 6 in the initial lineup, but there is a 7th one. We have Rook also. Now, Rook's main ability is to be the equivalent to a scav in terms of any other reference to an extraction shader. They're the scav run of Tarkov in this game, essentially. What they can do is they can actually take control of other UESC bots and help disguise yourself as a UESC temporarily, so then you can sneak around the map and get some pretty decent kills on some people. I know many a time that people have gotten pissed when I've killed them with Rook. Now, you will also get quite a bit of upgrades with Rook through progressing the upgrade paths for every faction. I'll get into the factions here shortly. So those are all the runners. Now, we have 3 maps at launch, and I'll get into the 4th one later on, because that one came after launch, and I have a lot to say about that one. However, we have 3 maps. 2 of them I am not the biggest fan of, because I feel that the play patterns of both of those maps are very similar. The layouts are also very similar, and they kind of blend together slightly, besides some of the visuals. We have Perimeter, which is the map that you can see me currently playing in the gameplay on the screen. This is the first map. This is just a basic map to get you into the feel of what the game has to offer. We have Dire Marsh, which is a little bit of a step up visually and in difficulty as well. And the last of the 3 launch maps is Outpost. Now, Outpost is actually my favorite of the 3 launch maps, and the reason why is because it uses more of its environment and has environmental status ailments that will harm you. It has a firestorm effect that where if you are outside, it will increase your heat capacity to where you cannot sprint, and it will also damage you over time, and the longer you stay into it, it is exponential and will really hurt you. I really like this map because it creates some unique engagements while it is mostly close quarter, and you do get a lot of assassins in there going invis, and it can ruin your day sometimes. It does have the most uniqueness in terms of events and enemies that you will be fighting in terms of the UESC. Now, you've heard me talk about the UESC, I'll just quote a little bit there. Now, the UESC is the AI bots that you'll be fighting in these maps. They are basically the equivalent of, you know, your normal ads in Destiny or the bots in Arc Raiders, for example. There are many different types of UESC. Some range from being annoying as fuck to kill, and some of them you can just pop with a single headshot, just like the normal enemies. Now, I really like the UESC. Unlike Arc Raiders in some cases, you cannot cheese these guys very much. You have to bring your A game and bring your all in order to kill some of these fuckers, especially the boss type enemies that will spawn across all 3 maps. Each map has their own unique boss enemy, and you get some codex entry for killing them, and you can get some pretty sick loot for killing them too. I overall really like the way that the AI was handled in this game, more so than a game like Arc Raiders, and I can't really speak for any other games, as those are the 2 extraction shooters I put the most time in. It's this game and Arc Raiders. And I apologize for all the Arc Raiders comparisons, but it's the other one that's fresh in my mind. Sorry. Now, right off the bat, there's going to be 6 different factions that we can help increase the reputation of. Increasing reputation of factions will give us bonus packs that will increase loot, and we can also upgrade to help us along our way in our loot grind as well. Now, I really like this system much better than the character level up system in Arc Raiders, mainly because it feels like all of the upgrades in this game actually feel like you're accomplishing something and actually give you something worth a damn. While yes, certain attributes of the upgrade system in Arc Raiders can feel superior, and it feels like you're actually improving your character sometimes, I felt like a lot of the times it was just kind of situational for the most part. Like, there were some upgrades that literally didn't do anything, or you couldn't even feel the effect of in that case. In this game, every single upgrade you will feel the effect of, and it will either help you gain loot or help you stay alive out of the wild. And that's the main reason why I feel that this system is superior than the one in Arc Raiders. Now, one thing I will say is that I wish that there were more quests to help you increase the factions a bit faster, rather than how it currently is. Because after the set amount of faction quests that you were given, you have to do the contracts afterwards to increase reputation, and it gives you nowhere near as revenues, and it can feel very grindy at times. That is my only real downside in terms of the faction system. But other than that, I really do like this system. I think it adds a lot of replay value to the game overall. Just for my personal preference, some of the contracts and the objectives of those contracts feel a little bit samey, grindy kind of. But for the most part, that was the gameplay loop before the 4th map came out. We were just basically getting all of our upgrades to go into the CRYO archive. And oh man, this looked incredible. Now, let me preface this. I do not have my own footage of this map because I have not played it yet. My experience with Marathon has mostly been through the eyes of a solo player, and I don't really want to go in with randoms, as this is the only map in the game that requires you to have a squad of at least 3 players, and I don't really want to go out there and matchmake with randoms on this one, because oh my god, this looks like the most stressful fucking thing of all time. You see, this is Marathon's raid in all intents and purposes. Now, this is basically the gist of what CRYO Archive is. Now, I don't know exactly what happens with this map and what the exact procedure is for a lot of these things, but from my understanding is that there are 7 different vaults in the map. Now, each vault makes it so that you can get to the next vault. It's in a sequential order, I believe. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments, please. But from my understanding, that's what I know. There's also a security clearance level that you can up by either killing enemies, picking up a specific item, or also interacting with specific terminals. These security clearances are needed to do certain vaults as well, from what I'm aware of. Now, from what I understand, it is impossible to do all 7 vaults in a single run, because imagine trying to do a Destiny dungeon-like mechanic while you have to interact with PvP, while you have to interact and fight the hardest enemies in the entire game. Mind you, all of these enemies are purple or gold shielded for the most part, so you will be fighting the strongest enemies in the game in order to complete some of these. And on top of that, you have a 30-minute time limit. And I didn't mention this at the start of the section, but you have to, and there's also a minimum gear value that you have to bring in with you. I believe it is at 5k. So you're taking some pretty valuable shit in with you. So every time you go in and you die, which you will die in this fucking map from what I've seen, you lose 5k value of anything that you brought in, and you have to redo all of your progress from scratch. Now, you'll get a clearance code from doing these vaults, and once you get all of the clearance codes, you fight the compiler. Now it looks like the compiler, it seems to be similar to a dungeon boss in terms of the arena size and how big the boss is itself, but I would more kind of describe what this looks like as a kind of like bullet hell kind of boss, similar to something you would see in Eternal, because this guy does not stop shooting at all. Now, from what I can gather, there are monitors around the map that kind of match some on the side. So you need to go input all the ones there, and then you are able to get a buff and damage the boss. I don't know how much health he has. I don't know any of that stuff, because like I said, I haven't done this before. I probably should have done this before making this video. However, this looks fucking cool, and I really do want to do this, and I hope that Bungie does add more of this stuff in the future. And those are basically just some of my thoughts on Marathon so far. Now, do I like this game? Yes, I do like this game, and I was wrong about some of the stuff I said previously. Now, my only main problem with the game is I can say the longevity of it depends solely on how many maps, how many runners, and how many more experiences that they end up adding similar to CRYO Archive. Because if they add more experiences like that, I can see this going very long. But if it's every once in a while type thing, or if it's in a only once per season type thing, then I don't really see this game lasting the years similar that Destiny 2 did, because I just don't think it has the longevity. That's just in my personal opinion with extraction shooters, though. I do think that extraction shooters do have that place in the genre, or in the space, but are they games that we can sit there and play for hours, if not years on end? For me, not so much, but that's my own personal taste. Now, that being said, the day that this comes out, Marathon Season 2 will be released, and I am going to jump back into the game. I put about 40 hours into the game myself, and I want to put some more in. I want to play this game some more and see what they end up doing with it, because it does have potential, like I've said, to be really, really good. That being said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.